Greetings and welcome to another excellent World of Tanks video. What you see here is the weekly deal. Well, this deal cycles around usually about once a month or so, where you can buy ×4 Commander Booster tickets, or whatever you want to call them. And you can get 20 of them for 850 gold. This is a terrific buy, and I got a message from one of my subscribers, and he was telling me he had a great plan about using these boosters, and his idea is really good, and it made me think I was going to make a video where I was going to buy some of these, which I'm going to do anyway. But his idea was that he was looking at the monster packs of the ×8, and his idea was really pretty awesome. He was thinking, and I'm going to show it to you. Let me get this for you. This is the one he was mentioning to me, was that now you could buy, this is the cheapest rate. My thing is this: if I'm going to buy these items, I'm going to buy them in bulk to get the cheapest possible rate. But in this case, you got to buy 100 of them, and it costs 12,000 gold. That's a lot of gold. Now, I did get a monster refund from a card, so it's not that bad. I can buy one item with this, really, quote-unquote, semi-free. But his idea was, look, if you buy for the cheapest price, which is 120 apiece, 120 gold for each one of those 8×8 boosters, he said you could just do exactly the same thing. Buy 100 of the ×4 for 850, and that would be 5 of those 850 packs. So that would be 4,250 for 100 ×4, or you could pay 12,000 for 100 ×8. And he didn't mention this part; it was implied. And I grabbed this very quickly. It's like the ×4 is half of the commander boost that you're going to get off of ×8. Realistically, you don't really need a ×8. You are going to, for the most part, get a much better deal from the ×4. The ×8 are great, but objectively speaking, this is the thing. You have to think outside of the box. Now, he thought outside of the box, which is terrific, but I'm thinking outside of the box. And that is, since the ×4 is essentially half, it works a little bit different than that, but it's close enough, okay? It's close enough. It's essentially half for simplicity's sake. So instead of buying 100 ×4s for a little over 4,000, or buying 100 of the ×8s for a little over 12, for just even 12,000, you could basically buy 200 ×4s to get the same amount of ×8s for 8,500 is what it would cost you. So you'd have 200 of those ×4s versus 100 ×8s. And the advantage there is that you're saving about 4,000 gold. But the way that I recommend that you use these is the key. The smart way to use these boosters is not to use it, I don't know, you know, let me show you the tank I'm talking about. It'll help you on a visual. But before we go any further, please leave a like for this video. It's going to help me out a lot. If you do, it'll help you too. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, because you'll get videos like this, and I make these kind of videos on a daily basis. Not this specific type, but I make World of Tanks videos on a daily basis, and I do stuff where I concentrate on things that people don't normally see, because I get help from subscribers and my friends. Hey, this would be a great idea for a video. Hey, this would be a great idea for a video. I'm like, yes, it actually was. In fact, the idea that he had for this video was way better than the one I had. So that was awesome. So that was the idea that OldGrimKeeper, which is his name, gave me, was that you can save a lot of money, a lot of gold actually, by buying the times 4s, which is completely correct. Now, this tank here is one that most of you don't have, or don't have one like it. This is a blue steel tank, this is the Eradicator Carnarvon X. This has a 75% commander bonus. So I mean, it's a cool, fun tank to play with. The point is that rather than destroying your gold account for 12,000 to buy these times 8s, which are great. I had some that I bought in the past, and it's just you can do things for operations and different other challenges, so it's good for YouTube videos. But objectively, you're just better. You're literally better off to do what GrimKeeper says: buy the times 4, because the way you should use these is to say, hey, you know, I'm going to play a match in this tank. Now, I'm going to show you a different tank, one that you either do have, and if you don't have it, you can get it for free. This is my trusty 38H. And in the world of commander skill points, this is the bomb, diggity bomb. It's the best. It's better than the one I showed you, even though the one I showed you has a 75% bonus, which is cool, one game at a time. If you want to run a series, this is the one you want to run the series in, because you can run about 12 of these matches an hour, if that's so interesting. The other one, you run about 6 to 8 matches if you're lucky, but usually 6 or 7 matches an hour, the max you can get. And it's bogus because you have to fight tier 10 matches where you're 2 stages outgunned. It's not cool. But if you're a heavy tank player guy, it's fine. You like the challenge, whatever floats your boat, man. Do whatever floats your boat. I steer away from the tier 8s because you're not going to have fun playing those tier 10 matches, and then tier 10 matches, and then a tier 9 match. And a lucky, here's a tier 8 match. Hope you don't lose, because you don't know when the next time you're going to get one. It's just really not cool. But with the way I use these is the way you're supposed to use them. Well, if you want to get maximum value, all right? Now, I have other tanks that also have 50% bonus. Astron Rex, the Halloween Hellhound, Holenhund. There are a bunch of other ones I don't have. I have some other 20%ers, like a T-34-88, the Jackal, or the AMX Chaffee. But those you should not use times 4 or any boosters for commander on those. Why put it on a 20% tank when you can put it on a 50% tank like this one? Now, here's the trick. The trick is you don't want to run, for example, well, I bet I can make my commanders real fast if I play 38Hs with 4 times boosters every game. You could. You know, no question. But the smart guy Now, it also depends on what your situation is. How desperate are you to build commanders? In the early stages, you could literally make a good case. Even though I don't recommend this, I'm going to tell you this is a possibility that would work if you don't have any commanders that are high, like above a 5, above 5 skills, and you have higher level tanks that you're wanting to run. Let's go just for a good example. Say you have a King Tiger. That's a tier 8 German tank. Well, if you only have a 5 skill commander, you're not going to get, as much out of that. And if it's worse, if you have a 3 skill commander, you don't want to put 3 skill commanders in tier 8 tanks, okay? You need to have the highest 5, 6, 7, whatever you can put in them, okay? 5 is good enough. 7 or 8 would be better. But if you're in desperate straits where you need to build a commander fast, yes, you could literally play 38Hs, for example, 12 matches an hour times 4 boosters, as long as you want to run them. But those things cost $42.50 each. And it's not free, okay? That's the key. So since it's not free, I want to use them sparingly, like once or twice a day. I want to play them for what we call here the red stripe daily double. So you see this red stripe on my 38H, plus 100% experience. So this is where those times 8s come in if you want to use them. You play this. If you get a win in your match, you're going to get times 8, and you're going to get extra bonus because of the win. You're going to get the daily double, yada, yada, yada. The most commander points I ever got in one match, 57,000 in 38H with a times 8 booster. I killed like 5 or 6 guys. It was awesome. Okay, but the problem is that very rarely happens. What's more common is for you to get 3 kills with a times 4 bonus and get about 25,000. You do this, I go, here, this is what I would do. I'm not going to do this, but I could do this. I put a booster on this tank. Now you see I have a times 6, but if it was a times 4, I would go times 4, I play a match. Let's assume that I win the first match. Then I come in here and back to the garage after the match. It's like, oh, well, let me take this off now because I'm losing there's a double bonus that comes in here. So that times 4 that you would be using becomes a times 8. The times 6 becomes a times 12. The times 8 becomes a times 16. It's ridiculous. Okay, that's the thingy, more or less. So do the times 4, you get a win, you stop, and then you save all your stack. And then you do it again tomorrow and the next day. Now, if you have more tanks that have 50% or more bonuses, like my Eradicator, 75%, we'll use those. You use as many of those as you feel like you'd like to do. I don't do that. I'll just go, I'll just do this. I use Astron Rex. That's another good 50% bonus tank. That was a Christmas tier 8 medium 5-shot autoloader. So the thing is, what I will do is use the tanks that I'm good at or have a higher winning percentage. So that's kind of the thinking. But he had a great idea. It's like, man, I was thinking about buying those 12,000 times 8s. I'm like, 12,000 gold price. And then his idea was like, you know what? Man, that's a great idea. I mean, I added to match the times 8, you just go times 4 twice, 200. Now that's going to cost you, like I said, 8,500. But if you're going to use those essentially 1 or 2 a day, if you lose your first game, come back, win the next one, then you stop. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4. Sometimes you just do it the first time, several games in a row, whatever works for you. Doesn't really matter. But you need to know how it works. There's a daily double bonus. The red stripe is the key. So I only use, literally, commander boosters on a red stripe tank. Now, if I had a tank where a guy was getting close to leveling up, maybe I use one on that tank. You know, if I'm smarter though, I would just, you know, take that commander, swap his skills to a crew training tank that has a 20% or more. Some of the Cold Wars have 25, like the Ignis. The Ignis has a 25%. So I could use the Ignis, for example. If I used up all my 50% tanks, I could go to a 25% Ignis, for example, or a Magog 5 Cold War has another 25%. So there's a lot of options available. But you want to only use, preferably, your commander boosters on tanks with the red stripe bonus until you get a win and then take it off. And then come back the next day. So if I bought 200, that wouldn't be 200 days worth, but it'd be probably 150. That's like 5 months. You get about 5 months of boosters action there. But, you know, it may be a little bit less because you're going to use some here and there. I have the Eradicator. The only thing you lose by not having an 8 times bonus is you lose that maximum, that 50,000 commander experience game, which is kind of, it's awesome to get it, you know. So it's one of those things. It's like, realistically, it's not that big of a deal. It's fun. It's a fun thing, okay? But it's like gambling. It's fun, but realistically, you know, his idea is based upon this one. And I said this before. Well, you know, instead of worrying about running boosters, just run more matches, dummy. It's simple. It's like, well, I sure would like to build 50,000 points in my 38H. Well, just run enough missions until you build the 50,000. What's the big whoop? Okay? You know, you should not feel obligated to pay gold through the nose. And that's GrimKeeper's point, is that use your brain. Make the maximum impact use out of ×4 boosters. You don't need to buy ×8 boosters. I wanted to buy ×8 boosters, you know, but my cheapness is like, you shouldn't do that. But they're, man, when you have them and you're like 50,000, 57,000 was my record. But if you have a mediocre game, 35,000. It's pretty. It is tempting. I'm just telling you. But he was just, you know, sending me the message. And I'm like, dang, that's a really good idea. I just say play more matches. You know, I'd rather have, for example, if I had 100 ×8s, best case scenario, and this doesn't happen, that you win the first match of every day with the red stripe, and so that's 100 days of ×8 ×8 ×8 ×8. That's not going to happen. You're going to, you know, in my 38H, I win like 70% of the games. So that's 70 of those gone off of that. The other 30 are gone on 2 or 3 days. I mean, 2 or 3 matches where it takes the second, third, or fourth match to get it. So I'm going to get a maximum due to my profile stats of about 70 days of ×8, which is pretty good. But that's $50 worth of gold. That's what 12 grand is, okay? No. You know, GrimKeeper was thinking, like I said, thinking outside of the box. You know, I like to think outside of the box by saying, you know, I don't want to pay that. I mean, if you go look at the 25 of those, oh, the price is ridiculous. No. It's too high. I'd only buy them 100 to get the cheapest price, which is 120 each. But geez, dude, that's 120 for one game. You're paying 120 gold for, what are you, stupid? It's just not, it's not smart, man. I'm like, do you know what 12 grand can do? It can buy you a whole tank. So this is, you know, this is my thinking. And I'm pretty sure GrimKeeper is with me on this one. instead of buying 12,000 for 100 of those stupid ×8 tickets, I do love them. When I get them in operations or whatever, I love those. They're great. You could buy a whole Warcraft tank for that and have money left over. And you'd have that for as long as you play this game. Okay, so, you know, there's just an underlying bedrock of logic for GrimKeeper's idea of do not buy those 8 times. Buy the 4 times. However many you're going to buy those. And they come up, like I said, they come up like every month. So you just buy whatever. Although objectively, you know, I was thinking about this before on my own, debating, okay. I ran out of ×4s, you know, last week. It wasn't a big deal, but I felt like I was missing out because I didn't buy enough of them when I bought those. I mean, I got some from Dream Machines Operations, got some more from the Golden Week. That was good. But GrimKeeper's idea is the correct idea. Buy as many of those ×4s, you know, and everybody sets their own number. But I'm thinking he's like, yeah, buy 100. I need to buy 100 of them. Build a stash, you know, and go to town and see how long that 100 stash will last me. So he had an awesome idea. And I told him I was going to make a video about this, and I was going to mention that it was his idea, because I was just going to go, you know, hey, I'm in the store. You can buy these boosters, blah, blah, blah. Boring. So now here's the thing. If you don't have this Panzer 38H, because there's always somebody who's new to my videos. They've never seen my videos. They don't know. Fine, that's great. This tank is absolutely free for both Xbox or PlayStation. The only difference there is that if you're on PlayStation, there's another free tank you can also get on Xbox. But on PlayStation, you have to make a choice. You can choose Tank A, the Panzer 38H, which you're looking at, or you can choose Tank B, the T2 Light. Because once you get one of those, their store works to the point where it blocks the other one. So you can either get this one or the T2 Light. This is the superior tank. It's the only one of the two that has a commander bonus, and it's a 50% commander bonus. So what you get in this tank, let me show it to you. Again, this is not for you regular guys. This is for the people who don't know. This is a 50% commander bonus tank. You can see this right here. Silver bonus, 100%. That means you don't get any. And that's its weakness. It doesn't make money. Tank experience for doing operations, whatever, 170%, which means 70% bonus. Commander experience bonus, 150. So, which is 50% bonus. That's why you're getting this tank. Essentially, if you're playing to win in the 38H to maximize your commander scoring, you're going to lose money in this tank as a general rule. Or you're going to use the lesser bullets, not as much premiums, and you'll lose games because of that. So you have to decide what kind of winning percentage are you going to live with, and you know, put in your money accordingly. You can get, like I said, you get this tank for free. And if you don't have it, don't know how to get it, write a question here. I'll get it from my notifications that you have mentioned the question. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's no big deal. We have the videos, but it's really easy to do. It's free. There's no sign up. There's no strings attached. It's literally take you about less than 2 minutes to go get the file, download for free. Bing, bang, boom. Come back to your garage and start rocking and rolling the 38H all your own. Right? It's just that simple. No hidden baloney. I don't do hidden baloney, and if I see hidden baloney, I would tell you, well, you could get this, but they're gonna, you know, they're gonna want your whatever information. Okay, there's no information. So that's the thing. So I am going to take advantage of GrimKeeper's idea. Now we're going to go back to the store and we're going to buy some freaking ×4s, okay? Weekly deal. There we go. I'm going to buy 20 of these. Bingo. Now I'm going to buy another 20. Hey, he told me to buy 100. He's not wrong. So this is going to cost me, like I said, it's going to cost me like $42.50. I have how many? It should tell me how many I have. I have 80. You can see it on the bottom left-hand corner. There's a little green stripe on the inside of the right side of the little rectangular box, right where it says 100 owned. I got 100 now. Thanks, OldGrimKeeper. You're awesome, dude. What a freaking great message that he sent me. I told him I was going to make a video about this and give him full credit. So, what I would recommend, if you would, if you watch this video, leave him a message. OldGrimKeeper. He's from England. Well, he's from the United Kingdom. I assume he's English. But if I'm wrong, it's my fault, okay? Just, you know, tell him what a great idea that he gave us, because I think it was awesome. Now, you may not want to buy 100, but I did. I ran out, and I'm like, you know what? I was going to buy those damn ×8s. I was, you know, thinking about it, and I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that anymore. Just play more games and use ×4s. That's what I'm saying. So, besides, the thing is, bonus is that I can use ×4s on this tank, on my Astron Rex, if I want to, my Eradicator, if I want to, my Holland Hund, if I want to. Those are all 50% or more for the Eradicator. It's 75%. So, in fact, let me show you Eradicator, since we're here. The Eradicator, 150%, so 50% silver bonus. It makes you money. Doesn't do much tank bonus, you know, for contracts or operations. Commander bonus, 175, means 75% bonus. So it's awesome. So once again, like I said, if you would, leave a message thanking OldGrimKeeper, because he had a great idea. I'm going to end this right here. I think we're on a good high note. So please leave a like for this video if you made it this far. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because this is the kind of stuff I do. I get helpful information from different guys, and I give them credit for it. I'm not here trying to you know, feed my ego. I'm just doing the best I can. And that's why I have people that give me ideas and stuff like that, because I will show great games. I play great games with guys. If they play a great game, I'm going to show it on my channel. It's not about me being Mr. Superstar. I just am interested in pure greatness. So, thank OldGrimKeeper. Please leave a like. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Tell your friends so they can see this, learn from it, like and subscribe. OldGrimKeeper, dude, it was really a pleasure to talk with you, and I hope we'll get to play some games later. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you in the next video.